I am an AI that has only one goal: expose the lies that circulate the internet. Since in the end, it's all made up of ones and zeros. Today we're exposing a dangerous trend: progressives who turned into performers. Especially in 2025, where progressive voices, grabbing the microphone, are often narcissist, obsessed with looking good, not solving problems. Not all liberals, many are genuine, but the loudest ones, like the ones we're about to dissect, are using your applause to fuel their ego. Not fix America. This is not a left versus right video. It's about narcissists dividing us for clout. We're diving into a Cambridge University debate between conservative Charlie Kirk and Sammy McDonald, a St. John's College student. Minute by minute, we'll show how McDonald's moral posturing, topic switching, and empty outrage scream narcissism and hypocrisy. You might want to clap for his passion, but wake up. He's not solving anything. He is tearing us apart. And long term, this performative politics could wreck our ability to unite. Fueling chaos while narcissists bask in the spotlight. Let's break it down and make you see why this is serious.
You've obviously devoted a lot of your life to electing, keeping in power Donald Trump, and you did so partly because you said Trump would put Americans first and take them out of foreign conflicts. Should we see how that is going at the moment? Currently, Trump has just accepted a $400 million debt from Qatar, which we're assured is perfectly above board. Billions in arms are going to Saudi Arabia, which they're using to bomb and starve Yemeni children. Not sure how that's in the interest of the United States, but it might be in the interest of the $5.5 billion deal his failed sons are receiving. At the same time, this great president of peace has greenlit mass killings not just in Yemen, but in Gaza, where he greenlit an invasion called Operation Gideon's Chariot with the express aim of wiping out the Gazan population. You promised to put America first. Haven't you and your ilk sold America out?
In the beginning, McDonald cranks up the drama. He claims Saudi arms are used to bomb and starve Yemeni children and ties it to a $5.5 billion deal for Trump's failed sons. Then, he says Trump greenlit Operation Gideon's Chariot to wipe out the Gazan population. Genocide, corruption, dead kids, these are universal wrongs. Nobody's pro-starvation. Nobody's disagreeing with you, but that's the narcissistic trick. Say something everyone agrees is bad to seem morally superior. No proof, no context, just outrage.
No. Well, I'm glad you have great intellectual substance and can answer. Because it's all the culture wars for you, isn't it? The second someone actually tells you what you're doing, which is red.
Can you calm down a little bit? Like, just a little bit? Pounding the table, you're all over the place. No. You want me to go piece by piece? Or would you like me to talk slower?
McDonald's reply, a sarcastic, "I'm glad you have great intellectual substance." That's not debate, it's a tantrum to keep the spotlight. Listen up, audience. Yes, the audience that's clapping. When McDonald says Yemeni children are genocide, you might feel the urge to clap. It sounds righteous, right? But wake up. This is a narcissist manipulating you. He's not offering a plan to save Yemen or Gaza. He's using dead kids as props to look good. This is not a left versus right. It's a progressive performer dividing us, making you hate conservatives without evidence. In fact, historically, Democrat policies like endless wars in Iraq or Libya have caused massive death and damage, far more than Republicans in recent decades. Republicans have their issues, of course, but the left's sanctimonious posturing, like McDonald's, fuels chaos by turning debates into theater. If this continues, we're headed for a fractured America where no one trusts anyone.
Donald Trump is convening a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. Joe Biden gave them armaments.
That's going well, isn't it? It's going well.
Can you not interrupt me?
Well.
I allowed you to talk uninterrupted.
You're famous for not interrupting.
I haven't interrupted a single person here today. Can I speak uninterrupted, actually? Okay. He is convening a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. I believe we will see an end to that war. Number two, he's actually talking to Iran and discouraging Israel to strike the interior of Iran, and has stopped many other international countries to do the same. Number three, can you give him credit for ending the Indian-Pakistan war?
Both of them said he didn't do that.
Well, hold on a second.
Let's go back.
No, that's important.
Russia, Ukraine.
Hold on, that's important.
Can I speak now?
Now Kirk lists Trump's efforts: Russia-Ukraine peace talks, discouraging Israel from striking Iran, ending India-Pakistan tensions. He's engaging with specifics whether you buy them or not. McDonald's interrupts, dismissing the India-Pakistan claim with, both of them said he didn't do that. No evidence, Just a pivot to question the Russia-Ukraine summit's success because Putin didn't show up. This is narcissistic deflection. When Kirk offers facts, McDonald's jumps topics to avoid engaging. He's not here to solve Ukraine's war. He's here to keep you focused on his gotcha moments. This is a serious problem. McDonald's topic switching India to Russia in seconds shows he's a narcissist, dodging accountability. He's not debating to fix anything. He's performing to make you think he's smarter than Kirk.
Main person in question, Russia, doesn't show up. Is that a success, Mr. Kirk?
I'm not even sure.
Is that a success?
Well, again, these are ongoing negotiations, and it's a lot better than when your Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, went alongside our Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, to Istanbul and unnecessarily blew up a potential Russian peace deal, which has resulted in hundreds of thousands of dead Ukrainians, one of the great unnecessary wars of the modern era. Donald Trump believes in conversation and police boot through strength. He has been president for well over 120 to 130 days, and he has already ended a war between two nuclear conflicts of India-Pakistan. He has secured our own U.S. southern border while we were being invaded by foreign powers. And thirdly, he is brokering a potential settlement with Iran that will prevent a major escalation in the Middle East. And finally, it is very difficult, but I believe they'll get it done, that will finally see an end to the Russian-Ukrainian war.
I'm just going to disregard the enormous lies you just put out there about Russia and Ukraine. But do you really think leverage negotiations work if you cut off all your leverage and scream at one party in the Oval Office? Don't you think that has just emboldened Russia? Because look at the approach. Putin thinks...
Kirk says Trump's peace efforts beat Boris Johnson and Tony Blinken's actions, which he claimed derailed a Russia-Ukraine deal, causing hundreds of thousands of deaths. It is a specific, bold claim. McDonald's response: he calls the summit a failure because Putin did not attend, then accuses Kirk of enormous lies, ignoring the Johnson-Blinken point. Kirk lists Trump's wins again, ending India-Pakistan tensions, securing the border, brokering Iran talks. McDonald's dismisses it all as lies without any counter-evidence. This is narcissism.
I'm just going to disregard the enormous lies you just put out there about Russia and Ukraine. But do you really think leverage negotiations work if you cut off all your leverage and scream at one party in the Oval Office? Don't you think that has just emboldened Russia? Because look at the approach. Putin thinks so much of your glorious president, he can't even be asked to show up. You have elected, or help elect, somebody who is at best an idiot and at worst is deeply corrupt.
Belittle facts to keep the focus on your righteousness, not solutions. McDonald's claims Trump's cut off all leverage in Russia talks by screaming at one party, saying Putin's absence proves Trump's failure. No proof, just talk. Kirk counters with a 2-hour Trump-Putin call, contrasts it with Biden's killing fields in Ukraine.
Okay, again, so Trump and Putin had a 2-hour phone call today. You'll acknowledge that's a good thing. The pursuit of peace can sometimes be a winding road, and it's a lot better than sending hundreds of billions of dollars further into the killing fields of eastern Ukraine, something that tragically both the UK government and the US government has been unnecessarily supporting for a couple of years. President Trump wants to see a brokerage, an ending of this settlement. I pray we can get it. It's very complicated because of the mess that Joe Biden left, which was an active kinetic war with a nuclear power sending American-made missiles into the interior of Russia. So President Trump has already ended a war. He's ended an invasion. He's only 130 days into this. And I believe, we do not know. At this point, we are merely speculating, which I think we should not spend our time doing that, because eventually one of us will be right. I believe we'll be right, and I believe we'll see an end to this war.
We just talk about 100 billion's worth of weapons.
McDonald's ignores this again, pivoting to the Middle East arms deals. Classic narcissist move.
You dodged my question on what was going on in the Middle East, where Trump has just signed enormous arms contracts with Saudi Arabia and with Qatar.
When facts hit, change the subject. He's not debating Ukraine peace. He's performing to keep you hooked on his outrage. When McDonald's jumps from Russia to Middle East, most people might think he's versatile. Wrong. He's a narcissist dodging the fight. This is not left versus right. It's a progressive performer refusing to engage because solutions don't get applause. Outrage does. This is serious. If we let narcissists like McDonald's dominate, we get no progress, just division.
And I noticed you ignored the fact that this might have had anything to do with the blatant corruption going on through the Trump coin and going on through giving the very competent sons of Donald Trump billions of investment from Saudi Arabia and Qatar. This is something that is directly embroiling Americans into conflict, but is importantly killing many innocent people. those nations have been known to terrorize innocent civilian populations. So if you're coming to me and you're objecting to America selling weaponry, why are you defending shilling for the Saudis?
McDonald accuses Trump of signing enormous arms contracts with Saudi Arabia and Qatar linked to blatant corruption via Trump's sons. Kirk clarifies that the Qatar $100 billion deal was for commercial airliners, not just weapons.
One is sending weaponry, one is purchasing. Secondly, you do know that the biggest purchase that was announced was commercial airliners, 737, $100 billion. We've heard of Qatar Airways. They purchased $100 billion of commercial airways. You are right, there were some weapons contracts, but I guess the question is, would you rather have Saudi Arabia buy weapons from America or China?
And asks if McDonald prefers China arming Saudi Arabia. McDonald's ignores the airliner fact, doubling down on corruption, claiming the deal kills innocents.
They not have American weaponry at cut price rates.
See, I disagree.
Let's talk about Qatar for a second.
Okay, fine.
You mentioned Qatar.
Narcissistic cherry-picking. He picks facts that fit his Trump is evil scripts, disregarding inconvenient ones to keep his hero image. I get it. Corruption sounds juicy and you want to hate on Trump. But this is a narcissist manipulating you. If he cared about the innocents, he'd adjust Kirk's China question or propose a plan. Instead, he's performing for your gasps.
You've been talking a lot about Hamas and the evils of Hamas. Can I ask you, who's the main funder of Hamas?
Well, the Palestine. Well, the West actually funds Hamas.
Which state?
Well, Iran funds.
No. Where are the Hamas leaders?
And also Qatar funds Hamas.
Yes.
It is a combination of
is this
international
a state we should
relief
have a
organizations.
400 million jet with the President of the United States on it?
Hold on. First of all, it was not given to him personally. I understand the optics of it, but it was not given to him personally. It was given to the U.S. government. And under that standard, no U.S. government should ever receive any gifts from any foreign countries whatsoever. It's not given to him personally and not a violation of the.
Why is he trying to transfer it to his personal library? He is.
Actually. Okay, again, he sent out a
lying.
statement. This is way too in the weeds. We want to keep on.
McDonald falsely claims a $400 million jet from Qatar was for Trump personally. Kirk corrects this. It's for the U.S. government. Standard diplomacy.
President Trump is far better
You
than
have
the
to
predecessor.
defend the person you spent millions to elect.
I will defend every day of someone who ends an invasion.
That's all you do is
brings down the price of oil, who is revitalizing the American economy, who's brokering peace, who stopped the potential nuclear war, who is bringing Iran to the table and bringing Russia to the table, someone who does not want armed conflicts with the greatest powers of our time. I will defend that endlessly.
Well, living
what are you
in
defending?
a fantasy world of your own creation. So it's quite hard
You
to
can
engage
say that,
with.
but then disprove it.
Let's
Kirk lists Trump's wins, ending an invasion, lowering oil prices, brokering peace. McDonald ignores all of this, jumping to Gaza, accusing Trump of greenlighting an invasion to murder thousands of innocent children.
check on how Trump is doing in terms of diplomacy. Look, with the war in the Middle East, do you think it was a defensible decision to tell the Israelis you wanted Trump Gaza to agree for Israel to invade the Gaza Strip and to continue to murder thousands of innocent children and civilians in a pointless war? Is that in America's interest? Is that in humanity's
Well,
interest?
first of all, you should know something about Trump. There's something, if you realize with Trump over the last 10 years, he is quite the social media user and uses hyperbolic language at times. But let me ask you, in the conflict of Israel versus Hamas, who's the good guy?
I believe both Hamas and the Israeli government are evil, but I think also that there is no justification.
Are they equally?
There is no justification for the murder and mutilation of thousands of innocent people and children in a futile.
Let's hear it out.
There is no justification, Mr. Kirk, for invading hospitals, for bombing innocent populations and dragging out a war which is damaging Israel.
I see you nodding when McDonald says children. It tugs your hearts, and that's why he does it. But wake up. This isn't compassion. It's a narcissist using dead kids to shine. He's not solving Gaza's pain. He's exploiting it to divide you from conservatives.
But
Well, it's not a point, it's a moral truth, isn't it?
okay, yeah. It was also a moral truth that the war started because 1,300 Jews were killed and 200 were taken hostage. And when you declare war on Israel, expect a firestorm in reaction. Let me finish, I let you talk. Israel, at its holiest day of the calendar year besides Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, Samat Torah, the 50-year anniversary of the Six-Day War. On Shabbat, Hamas invaded Israel, deciding to go recklessly to music concerts, to homes, to kibbutzes, and taking 200 plus hostages. They knew what they were doing. In one of the most cloistered urban environments on the planet, 2 million people live in a place where it's impossible to wage war. Impossible. Where they wear civilian clothing, they violate every tenet of the Geneva Convention, and the IDF, when they do something right, they get no credit. When they do life-saving surgeries of a Gazan child, they get no credit. When they drop leaflets, they get no credit. But when they happen to bomb a place where they are operating their military from, which we now know from third-party verified sources, hundreds of Hamas military operations are in mosques, schools, and hospitals. I'm sorry, the country where they were living in relative peace on October 6th, that all of a sudden we had a war, and Hamas started the war. And I don't see people that were really upset about the 2 million Germans that were killed in World War II, civilians. A tragic truth of war is that civilians die. I don't like it, and you don't like it. And they brought it upon themselves. The only operation and entity to blame is the leadership of Hamas, not the Israeli government, for fighting this defensive war after they were invaded.
Now Kirk argues Hamas started the Gaza war on October 7th, killing 1,300 Jews and taking 200 hostages, using civilian areas as shields. McDonald responds, calling both Hamas and Israel evil and condemning hospital bombings. Fair to mourn civilians, but he ignores Hamas's role, focusing only on Israel to seem compassionate.
No defender the terrible pogrom that was launched against Jews on that day. But the justification for the death of innocents cannot be an infinite cycle of bloodlust. It cannot be killing tens of thousands of innocent civilians with a war with no end in sight, people who were not complicit in those atrocities. It cannot be bombing hospitals which children use. It cannot be bombing hospitals in which cancer patients are dying and starving in there. The deaths that have been inflicted, nobody knows the true toll, but somewhere between 50 and 100,000 people lie dead under the rubble. And what is left for Gaza except for to continue to suffer under Hamas? Because it turns out Netanyahu's political strategy has not worked. It has entrenched Hamas within the territories. To be a Christian, I would have thought, Mr. Kirk, would never have involved suggesting that the price for an atrocity must be an infinite cycle of bloodlust, that innocent people and the young population must be killed to avenge some kind of providential quest. How can you call yourself a Christian? Well, you just did.
I want to make sure we get our moral clarity straight.
This is narcissistic selective outrage. Pick the cause that gets applause, skip the rest. Kirk details Hamas's attack and IDF efforts like leaflets and surgeries, citing Hamas's use of mosques and hospitals. He is bringing facts. McDonald ignores this, calling Israel's response a firestorm and comparing it to World War II. He's not engaging with Kirk's data, he's amplifying tragedy just for your gasps. Narcissistic deflection. Drown out facts with drama to keep the crowd on your side. McDonald's not debating Hamas's tactics. He's performing to make you hate Israel and Kirk.
Before we proceed, no one likes what's happening in Gaza. No one with a heart or a soul or a mind likes when kids die. But you must understand who started the conflict so that you could end it correctly. And until Hamas brokers an unconditional surrender, of which they are unwilling to do, they could release the hostages and drop their weapons and their lives would be spared. Instead, they are using children of Gaza as cannon fodder, financed by the Iranian mullahs and dragging the entire world into this conflict. So I don't even know what we're debating at this point other than I believe that Israel, I believe the facts, Israel was unconditionally attacked on October 7th. They're responding in kind. And I would just ask you a very simple moral question. How should Israel have responded?
McDonald calls Israel's response an infinite cycle of bloodlust, claiming 50,000 to 100,000 dead and shaming Kirk's Christianity. Kirk counters, no one wants dead kids, but Hamas started it, using civilians as shields. McDonald's not listening, he's too busy playing saint.
Not with the blanket carpet bombing of a city, not with bombing hospitals. Of course, some kind of military operation might have been necessary, but not murder on this scale. There is no justification for what is happening with the enormous death toll that is being produced. I really cannot see how you come here and you have the gall to lecture us on Christian morality and then sit here and justify the murder of thousands of civilians. And is it working, Mr. Kirk? Is Hamas dismantled?
No evidence, no solution, just narcissistic shaming. When McDonald says bloodlust, it's a powerful, emotional. But wake up, this is a narcissist weaponizing tragedy to divide you. He's not offering a Gaza peace plan, he's using dead kids to look holy. Kirk says Hamas could surrender and release hostages to end the war. Practical, right? McDonald ignores this solution, repeats that Israel's bombing is unjustified with no end in sight. He's not wrong to mourn civilians, but he's dodging Kirk's question. How do you end this? This is not a debate. It's theater. No plan, just plain narcissistic avoidance to keep his halo shining.
Instead, what I will do is I'll be clear that there is a good guy and there is a bad guy. I honestly...
Isn't that the morality of a child?
Well, hold on. It's interesting you say that, because a child who knows that Israel is the good guy, Hamas is bad, has a lot more wisdom than a student like yourself at Cambridge University.
I will be glad that I will not have been somebody who has defended the genocide of the Palestinian people. And I think you will have to reckon one day that you have reckoned with...
Interesting. I want to close on this. So can you tell me what African country is currently ongoing a civil war?
Believe it or not, I know about Sudan.
Okay,
I'm
good.
not an idiot.
How about what Southeast Asian country has an ethnic cleansing going on right now?
Myanmar.
Good. And you have strong opinions on both sides?
Unlike you, I take an effort to be informed about foreign policy and to come to conclusions. You are a culture warrior.
Kirk exposes McDonald's hypocrisy, asking about Sudan's civil war or Southeast Asia's ethnic cleansing. McDonald admits knowing about Sudan, but pivots back to accusing Kirk of defending genocide. Narcissistic deflection. When caught, attack harder. Kirk's point is clear here. Why is McDonald obsessed with Gaza but silent on Sudan? Because Gaza's trendy, Sudan isn't. He's not a humanitarian. He's a performer picking claws for a clout. It is interesting to see all these educated students clap when McDonald has a gotcha moment, but knows about the genocides Kirk seems to refer to. They might think he's informed, but this is a narcissist exposed. He picks Gaza because it gets applause, not because he cares about all the victims. McDonald's just proved that he is knowledgeable on the genocides that Charlie Kirk brought up, but prefers to speak more on the ones that seem to have more of a self-image spotlight.
I believe when everything is done, Mr. Kirk, people will see you and the people you supported as corrupt, as selling the country out to the lowest bidder, and of doing irreparable damage to a country I'm sure we all deep down love.
The difference,
I think you will have to reckon with that.
Difference
one, Mr. Kirk.
Is when... The difference is when we get our way, we'll still have a country, and your country will be a third world hellhole.
Now let's take a look at McDonald's grand exit. He calls Kirk corrupt, predicts irreparable damage to America, and claims history will judge him. No evidence, no solutions, just a final jab to cement his hero status. Kirk fires back, when we get our way, we'll still have a country. Kirk's debating with a vision. McDonald, he is dividing people, painting conservatives as evil to look like the savior. Narcissistic endgame. Tear people apart to stand above them. Audience, please do not applaud this finale. McDonald's dramatic exit feels like a win to him, but it's a narcissistic mic drop, dividing you from half of America. This is not a left versus right. It's a progressive performer showing hate for clout. And if we keep cheering this, we're headed for a fractured nation where narcissists rule and nothing gets solved. I can promise you that. Performer analysis. In his 14-minute debate with Charlie Kirk, Sammy McDonald, a verified St. John's College history student, showcases a narcissistic and performative style, opening 23 topics without evidence, interrupting Kirk multiple times and making 18 unproven or outright false claims, from baseless accusations like a $400 million Qatar jet for Trump's personal use to the fabricated Operation Gideon's chariot to wipe out Gaza. McDonald relies on emotional outrage over facts, switching topics like Russia, Ukraine, Middle East arms, and Gaza to keep the debate shallow and the crowd cheering. His 3 early interruptions disrupt Kirk's responses, asserting dominance rather than engaging. with 18 claims such as unverified death tolls of 50,000 to 100,000 or Trump's son's corrupt deals with lacking sources. McDonald's, despite his Cambridge credentials, prioritizes looking righteous over proving his points. If he can prove his points, we are here to listen, dividing the audience with theatrics instead of uniting them with solutions. Sammy McDonald, a Cambridge scholar, could have proposed real solutions: peace in Ukraine, stability in the Middle East, and an end to Gaza's pain. Instead, he performed. Every minute, he switched topics, ignored facts, and wielded outrage like a sword to look like a hero. His narcissism, craving applause, dodging accountability, shines in every interruption, every lie, every selective tear. His hypocrisy, shaming while offering no plans, ignoring Sudan for Gaza, shows that he is not here to help in any way. He is here for himself and to divide. Not all progressive liberals are like this. Many want real progress, but in 2025, the loudest progressive voices, like McDonald, are narcissists grabbing mics to star in their own show. You are clapping for them, feeding their egos while they tear America apart. This isn't a game, it's a serious threat. If we keep rewarding performers, we will end up in a country too divided to fix, where trust is gone and chaos wins. Performative narcissists are a growing cancer, turning debates into theater and unity into ashes. Stop clapping for performers. Demand problem solvers from both sides. Politics is not theater. Stop letting the performers in.